We're going to start with a really fascinating presentation given by Nobu Fukawa of the Missouri University of Science and Technology on digital twinning. This is a technology that I was actually not very familiar with until speaking with Nobu, and it really is fascinating. So Nobu's looking forward to getting some good feedback on how we see this technology can be used. And at this time, I would like to welcome Nobu to come on.
Okay, thanks so much for the nice introduction and the invitation. I'm at the Missouri University of Science and Technology. Today my talk is on the digital twin revolution, and so I think before we start, I just want to get a feeling of the of how your familiarity with the concept of digital twin, and so that I can adjust my presentation accordingly. So Frank, would you mind launching the first question?
I'd be happy to. So everyone, we're launching a poll on the familiarity with digital twins.
So overall, as you answering this question, I think today's talk, I'll kind of start with this application of digital twin. You might feel more in a B2B context because that has been the real application so far, and then kind of transition to the B2C possibility of the applying digital twin in a B2C context. So that's kind of the flow. So I hope you kind of like you're waiting for this more direct marketing application toward the end of the presentation. So I would like to understand to the flow of the presentation.
Well, we've had about two-thirds of the people respond so far, so maybe we'll just call it right there.
Okay, so thanks so much for your honest this response. So it seems I'm not sure if everybody can see, but the 25% of you said yes, 70% of you said no, and about 5% of you neutral. Maybe you're somewhat familiar, but may not be exactly familiar. So thanks so much. So I think this is kind of consistent. If we did a poll on some of these industry setting as well as the academic setting. So usually it's around the 30%. If it's usually the concept is more familiar among these engineering folks. And so we are still waiting for this concept to be applied in marketing. So I think that the poll shows that trend in terms of the digital twin. So I like to first start with the current example. So I'm going to show you this video. It's basically the application of digital twin in the context of the railway management, and so that you can have a glass of the feeling what really the digital twin is. And so I would like to show you that.
Over 1 million kilometers of railway tracks span the globe, creating complex networks over vast territories, with thousands of interconnecting parts moving around the clock. In this environment, even the smallest interruption can have serious implications. Currently, dozens of different tools are used to manage networks. But with no interface between them, owners and operators are left to connect the dots on their own, often making critical decisions based on incomplete information. But what if there was a better way? A way to access a complete view of your rail network, operating in real time. A way to integrate disparate tools to a single intuitive platform. One that's capable of producing powerful, actionable insights for decision makers across your organization. with the ability to predict faults before they occur, optimizing capacity, pushing network availability towards 100%. Introducing Willow Rail. Developed with Strukton Rail's expertise in rail asset management and Willow's application of advanced technologies.
So I hope you were able to get the feeling of of this digital twin. So in this case, in this particular context, the digital twin is applied in in managing this train operation. So basically there is a digital representation of that reflects the current state of how this train is running on the railway. And in this particular case, for example, if there is some potential that if the data suggests that there is some potentially some problem on the parts of the railway, these points might be there might be something wrong, the kind of expected, predicting something going to happen. If so, these particular parts can be replaced by sending these personnel to this particular location, and then they can avoid the downtime of this train. So I think that's kind of how this digital twin is utilized to enhance this train operation. So reducing this kind of downtime, so that indirectly enhance the customer experience. If it's if it's a cargo train, of course, it's a B2B context. If it's the passenger train, basically to avoid passengers to run into a delay and the cancellation of a train and enhancing the customer experience. So that's kind of the brief example of this digital twin. So really, when we started studying this subject, we collected this identified different types of the definition of digital twin. And as you can see, I just selected these two sets of this definition. As you can see, the first one, focus more on the product, and the second one focusing more on this process, product, and service. So it's more inclusive in a sense. But I think the commonality is basically everybody agrees you have like three entities in this digital twin. You have the physical property, so which is a train physically running, and then there's a digital representation of the train that is running in real time. And then the essence of digital twin is this physical and the digital sync at the real time. And so that's really the true meaning of this digital twin. And currently, the market size for the digital twin around 10 billion US dollar in as of last year, and it's expected to grow. In 5 years is expected to grow probably a little bit more than 10 times of the current size. So that's how the state of the digital twin. And so just to give you a little bit more specific example, in addition to the train management. So in this particular case, I would like to give you some example how digital twin is utilized in a factory. And before that, I would like to give a little bit of background how this concept of the digital twin is looking at the history of this concept. So as you can see, this digital twin is the concept itself is nothing new. It was developed in more than 20 years ago, and of course it kind of developed. This concept also evolved over time. But really, the reason that this technology is currently being utilized more and more companies is because of this advancement of these technologies, what we call enabling technologies like 3D printing, big data, and AI. And so I thought that digital twin as kind of like this real application of AI and machine learning, which is the discussion topic for the panel. And so I wanted to kind of think of digital twin as a real application of these technologies, including this AI and machine learning. And of course, the big data exists there. So without those technologies, the digital twin was not really practical. Because it's pretty difficult to really sync the digital and the physical in a real time in a practical way. So just because of these technologies, for example, in this particular case, the Unilever uh, created a digital twin of their factory. And basically, they have I mean, in this particular case, they used probably like couple weeks to create this digital twin of the factory. And so this particular factory in Brazil, they make some products like this soap. And the digital twin basically captures for example, the temperature of this soap. So obviously, the soap is a large size in the beginning. After they produced, and then they're put into this conveyor belt, and then it will move through this factory. And at a certain point, they need to cut into small pieces. So, like for example, what's the best temperature to put that soap into this cutting mode? And so digital twin with all this big data captured in a factory, it will figure out what's the best moment and also the speed of putting this large soap into this process of cutting into these small pieces. So like this case, basically it's the digital twin is applied in the context of improving the operation in a factory. And currently, they are with the help of the Microsoft, they're trying to create 300 digital twin for these 300 different plants. So it's a massive effort that they're making effort in applying this digital twin. And so that's some of the context. And when we started this project, we realized there are, as I mentioned, there are so many types of definitions of digital twin. And also, as we look into some of the cases of the digital twin application, there's really a great variety of these applications. And we saw that it's really difficult to just tackle this concept, just digital twin without the typology, because the different types of digital twin requires different types of strategies. So that's basically the motivation for us to create this typology. And so some of these digital twin application is focused more on the process. So like train management is a process of managing the railway. And some of them are focused really on the product. So really the focus is to make the aircrafts better quality and at the lower cost. And so that's one dimension. And the other thing is the types of activities. So some of them so-called upstream activities that we refer upstream activities being like production, the distribution, those supply chain, those are upstream activities. and downstream activities, meaning that it's closer to customers, and which is really the marketing application, enhancing customer experience and so forth. So basically, we created this 2x2 framework because really I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you this current example for each typology. And but the current state of the digital twin is they are focusing more on the upstream activities like supply chain, the production. And I think that's a reason that in this particular study, they interviewed some of the professionals utilizing digital twin. And this particular respondent said they don't think the digital twin is a revolution. I think it's an evolution. So in other words, the digital twin is only the enhancing the incremental innovation, like improving the existing process, existing product. So that's really the current focus. And in this presentation, I would like to kind of see the future of the potential application of digital twin and how to really make, transform, which is currently only the evolution into a real revolution by focusing more on the downstream. And that's basically the message of this presentation. So as you can see, these are some of these one example from each category that I just showed you the typology. So, like for example, this is the BMW is utilizing digital twin in the context of the enhancing the supply chain. As the of course, this is the process, the focus example. And on the right side, this is these are parts of the aircraft called a bell crank. And the bell crank is basically the altering this movement into 90 degrees, 180 degrees. So, for example, this is utilized to operate some of the like doors of the aircraft, the wheel coming out, the bell crank malfunction, then the wheel doesn't come out. So those are kind of the areas of these parts. And they use a digital twin to optimize the design. So as you can see, this is the original part, and then this is the basically they're optimizing the design by reducing the weight and utilizing the digital twin. And in this case, on the bottom, on the left side, they're using this digital twin in the context of the heart. So this is the digital twin of heart. So, for example, if a surgeon want to try some of the new method of the surgery, they can do so on a digital twin, and without really before they try on the actual patient. And so, that's kind of like this process, but closer to customers, in this case, patients, because it's enhancing the patient's experience. And the last case is this is the digital twin of TB host. So the digital twin is created to to learn the behavior of the TB host, and not just mimicking the behavior of the TB host, but really autonomously can respond to inquiry and really acts like the another version of the human. And so that's another application which is basically closer to customers, because that's the how it's more like entertainment purpose application of the digital twin. So as you can see, as I mentioned a little bit in the beginning, these are the enabling technologies of the of digital twin. And today I would like to focus a little bit more on the big data and AI, because that's consistent with the focus of the summit. So now I'd like to get a little bit in depth on this, how AI and big data is related, and supporting the digital twin. So before that, I would like to kind of formally introduce the definition of AI, because that's basically the critical enabling technologies in the context of digital twin. So the AI in relation to the digital twin, we kind of utilize AI in the context of the analyzing data. So some of the definition of the AI is the kind of pay more attention on the how to analyze data, and in the process we use this AI. And some other definitions, they contrast these, they compare the human intelligence and artificial intelligence. So how the AI is really mimicking the behavior of humans. So that's that's kind of the focus of this definition. And so I mean, this is the and also the other thing in relation to AI is the some of the forms of AI is with a physical form, like robots has a physical form, and versus there's a digital form of AI which is basically focusing more on the analyzing the data. So these are also the types of the AI, and of course in the context of digital twin we focus more on the digital form of AI, and that's a focus. And there are many, arguments in terms of how AI and machine learning is related to each other. And I think one way is to see the machine learning as part of the big umbrella of AI. Part of it is is a machine learning. That's one way to understand it. So, for example, like I mean, we in previous session we had this discussion about creativity. So how, of course, we can use the machine learning to enhance the creativity. So by learning all kinds of the arts, and then the task of generating creative arts, and how to enhance the performance, and that's part of this machine learning. And so that's of course, in the context of digital twin, machine learning is utilized to predict the predict the digital property of the physical property, and that's how it is used. And I'd like to get into that a little bit more of that particular discussion about that. So in a context of digital twin, of course, the big data has to be there. So basically, this is the context of this Chevron, and they are basically utilizing digital twin in this refinery and the process of the crude oil, and transforming into the different types of products. And so this is the picture you're seeing is called a heat exchanger. So basically they are exchanging the temperature, the changing the temperature of the two different types of fluids. And of course, in this process, they can they might get a from the sensor. They will get the temperature, the speed of the oil flow, and based on that, this digital twin can figure out what's the best time to do the maintenance and the replacing particular parts of this heat exchanger. And so that's basically what it does in this case. And of course, in this case, there's capability for capturing the data through sensors, and then transform into the big data, and then store them. And of course, those are the given context, to create a digital twin. So once you have these data, of course, you have to do something to process them. So that's where the AI comes in, and then you have the big data, and then you're going to process it to convert that to the digital representation, and also do some prediction when when certain parts has to be replaced. Not doing too much of the maintenance, but optimal location, and also at the right time. So the companies like GE has been the early mover in this, applying this technology. So it's amazing that in 2016, basically already 7 years from now, they acquired this company Wise. Wise was a company that purely focused on utilizing machine learning, and then identifying patterns in the data. And then at that time, everybody was thinking that why GE is acquiring this kind of firm. And basically, what they were trying to do at that time is GE has so many devices, all kinds of equipment in a factory, windmills, so many devices in a B2B context, but they didn't know how to utilize this data. So that's basically the reason for them to utilize digital twin to basically figure out some of the meaningful ways to utilize the big data, and then in this case, create a digital twin. So just the statement, they understand really the AI is a critical component of the digital twin, which is inseparable. And so that's kind of like this early effort resulted in currently GE has over 1.2 million digital twins, and saving significant amount of cost in in all aspects like operations, the supply chain, and so forth. And so those are kind of like, hopefully this gave you some idea how these technologies are actually enabling companies to have a digital twin and really take advantage of this technology. Now I'd like to show you so what to go from there, and where to go from there. And so these are kind of like these questions for not only people like academia like us, but also people in the industry, that to kind of stimulate what are some of the possibilities of the digital twin. So, for example, like we used to be restricted to the choice of choosing between the digital and the physical. Now the digital twin is combining both of them. So this is basically providing a third choice for customers and the companies. So what does that mean for us? So in this particular example, this Eva Herzegovina, the supermodel who has 30 years of experience, they created a digital twin of the supermodel. So what are some of the occasions this kind of this digital twin of her, the supermodel, is preferred versus this human, or the real human? And in this case, it's really not really syncing, like the digital and the physical. It may not be that important because the standalone nature of the digital twin, that digital part might have more importance. But if you think about, for example, like Tesla's vehicle, maybe customers can access both the physical product, and while they're driving, they can also access the digital version of it. Maybe that creates some convenience. And so I think there are some contexts that if you're given some three choices of digital, human, and also this combination, I think there are different contexts that people prefer. different format of these product and services. And the other thing that might occur in the future is for example, like if we think about like medical services, how digital twin is, can be applied in a medical context. So this is an example of this wearable ultrasound imager. So, please imagine that you can wear this kind of device and then maybe embedded in a fabric, and then you can so that you can monitor the state of the heart in real time. And if these kind of technology become available, what probably happen is how we measure the effectiveness of the medical services becomes more like outcome-based services. So in other words, instead of charging for the medicine, maybe the hospital can start charging, how the medical procedure or the medicine improves the circulation of the heart or the condition of the heart, because they can monitor the state of the heart in real time. And so those are kind of the questions. I think how does digital twin really alter the way we provide services to patients and customers? And I think that's some of the question we can ask. And I'd like to conclude with this. I think I would say this is probably the closest example to marketing. And so this one is Lowe's is experimenting with this digital twin in a retail context. And what they're doing is they are creating this digital twin of two of their stores. And so, for example, if their employees wear this AR augmented reality headset, they can see, for example, by looking at a certain product in a store, they can see how many items are in stock. And even a shelf that is hidden and it's difficult to see, like in a higher place, they can still see those digital information. And also they can see something like, well, this product is sold well with the other products in this section. So all kinds of information can be seen in the store. So I mean, this is still at the trial base. I think they started. They recently started. I think last year or so. And really in transitioning ourselves into from industry 4.0 to industry 5.0, we industry 4.0 we were focusing on just automating some of the processes. Now I think we are figuring out how to get the human back into the process. So in other words, what are some of the areas human experts are suitable, and then what are some of the areas machines are suitable, and how we can collaborate each other. So in this particular case, I think the struggle of many businesses. I have talked to some of the executives in the retail business, so and including others. And sometimes they create a digital twin, but we don't know where to go from there. And so really it's really the insights from human that really allow them to take advantage of the real potential of the digital twin. And I think that's probably some of the takeaway from this today's talk. And so that's where we have to kind of determine the future. It's up to us, how to really take advantage of this digital twin and then really kind of bringing the upstream application into a downstream, and then which might lead to a radical innovation. And I think that's the message of this talk. And I just wanted to acknowledge this part of the presentation come from my work with Eric, the Rindflash, at the UIUC, and I just would like to acknowledge that. And now I'd like to open up for question and discussions.
But Nobu, I wanted to ask a question directly to you about a potential application. And so I was on a road trip the other day and business travel, and I had a rental car. And the question came up as part of that is how many gallons should I fill into my rental car given where I am on the road and get to return it at the proper fill level that the the rental car agency wanted, knowing that path. And also it occurred to me where would be the best place, from a price perspective. And so I was thinking about this, and your thing on digital twinning came up because wouldn't that be a fabulous, capability, is if the rental company, if you knew you were stopping at a gas station and could actually automatically recommend to you, hey, put in this many gallons, and even stand behind that recommendation for when you return it. So I didn't know what your thoughts are on those kind of customer experiences. Right now, it seems the state is with the corporate clients, like you say, the B2B. But I was wondering, is there movement, is there interest among the consumer companies right now for those consumer applications?
Yeah, that's a great question, Frank. I think one of the challenge of the digital twin currently is I think companies are kind of struggling to move from upstream to the downstream. And I think the reason is it's pretty difficult to get the data needed for this kind of application. So if it's a factory, you control the data, and of course you have access to the data. But once it gets into the customers, you need like additional process to acquire the data. And also, I think the many companies are struggling to figure out really what's really the digital twin can be applied in really to enhance the customer experience. And I think the what you mentioned is really a great case of in a service context, you utilize like different types of data and really the real time, so that the customer is traveling in a rental car, and they can predict what's the optimal place to put the gas, and so that you don't have to pay for the penalty for if your tank is empty when you return your car. And so that's enhancing the customer experience. So I think there are many different ways, like not just for filling up the car, the gas, but also like if there is something. I recently had this flat tire of this rental car, and some of these avoiding some of these the possible problem with the car, so you can predict what's going to happen, and then before that the rental car companies can fix the problem. So I think that's a great application of the bringing this digital twin into the downstream.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, we do have some more questions coming in. We have one from Greg Silverman. I'll read it to you. We currently have a digital twin model that we use to forecast sales for our clients. It is a market level forecast that accounts for all brand management decisions in a competitive context. It's good to see digital twins making the conversation to MASB, but it seems that the application is more improving the value of investments, not just in products. Not really a question, but an observation for the group that the capability is already available for marketing. So the idea there from Greg is that there is, on the decision aspect of it, there is a twinning application already active within marketing.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think I think, like, for example, in a Lowe's case, you're right. I mean, it's kind of like investing on creating the digital twin of the stores, and so that's a huge investment in a store. and how to really reflect that to at the product level. And I think at the current stage, I think it's really like showing how many stocks are available for each product. But I think there's more to it that we can probably utilize in a product development process. So in the future, maybe automobile companies, if they utilize digital twin, and then instead of doing some study, they can observe this, how people are using cars through the digital twin, and then reflect that in a product development process. So that's how these kind of investment can turn into improvement at the product level. I think that's probably the potential that we can see in terms of the future of the digital twin. I hope that's the answer to some part of your question.
And we have another question here from John Gasky. He asked, if I wish to invest in digital twinning, do you know of any publicly traded pure plays available? I suspect there are none. So there's the question on investing. How would you invest in this technology if you were felt it is a revolution coming?
So I think if a company decide, and many companies actually create the partner, the identify partner to invest in this technology. So like, for example, like in this recent case, of creating like digital twin of Hertz, the Tata TCS is one of those companies that offering this digital twin as a platform. And so, in other words, the earlier case of of Unilever, Microsoft is the one creating this, helping them to create this digital twin for them. So I think that's that's kind of like always a partnership between this client and this platform firm. So I think it's interesting to see how these platform firms are kind of involved in this kind of process.
So no, I have another application of twinning that I'm familiar with, and it's in the gaming space. So if you look at companies like Hasbro and others, a lot of people grew up with Pokemon, for example. They have done this interesting thing which is going on where they have their physical games. In many cases, they're trading cards based. So you have physical cards, but then they also have digital versions of those cards. And while the two aren't connected in real time, as you're mentioning, they are twinning, because what happens is that the user, their customer, is actually playing the game online to prepare for physical tournaments where they'll have the physical pieces. And so, but it makes me again this idea of, I think it's just being scratched on the surface of the additional intelligence that goes into this. For example, if they knew that you had a particular type of strategy based on your deck, and they knew that what they call the metagame, the tournament side, is changing, they could actually make recommendations to you on how to adjust to that. And so I was wondering, it doesn't seem like, even though the pieces are there, it doesn't seem like those kind of overlaps are happening. Do you have any thoughts on why that is? What's stopping that next step forward? Because it seems like they have all the components already in those type of situations.
Right. I think that's a great question to kind of illustrate the types of the digital twin. And I think that's so if you look at all these applications of digital twin, there is some aspect that there are some scenarios that really syncing the physical and the digital is not necessarily important. And so, like for example, like when we were to utilize the digital twin of heart, the one possible scenario is to try this new procedure on the heart, like digitally before you actually try. And in that case, it doesn't have to be, well, actually the benefit is there is no syncing while you're doing the surgery, you're only trying on digitally, not the physical part. And so that's interesting, difference, I think. But in other case of the train management, the physical and the digital has to be, really synced very accurate. Otherwise, if there's something parts go wrong, and then if you're just looking at the information from the 1 hour ago, and then it might be too late to do something. So I think that's kind of illustrate the some of these scenarios that what are some of the cases that the physical and the digital should it be always synced? Is there any circumstances that it doesn't have to be synced? Because I think if you want to sync it, then you need additional effort to I think implement that digital twin. And so I think that kind of like applies to that particular case that you mentioned, Frank. Does that answer some of your question?
Yes, very much so. So you show the example of a digital twinning of a retail outlet. And you mentioned the capabilities of employees being able to link into that through mechanical devices, digital devices, and to be overlay with information like how much of the product do we still have, what products go along with this particular product, and other important information. I was wondering, do you see a time where once that infrastructure is in place, that technology will leave the employee and go to the actual shopper, so that the shopper themselves would have access to that overlay, if you will, that's afforded by the digital twinning?
Yeah, that's a great question, Frank. So I think currently it seems the application is limited to the employees, wear that headset and then see this information. But I don't see any reason that we shouldn't extend it to the including the customers. If customers come into the store and then see some of this information about these products, which is appropriate for them to see, then it's probably not a bad idea for for companies to utilize this kind of technology. And of course there are certain information that maybe should not be shared with customers. And so for example, like if we are at the must be we're always talking about this marketing accountability. So how much, for example, how much investment you made on a certain brand, and then you can maybe see at the product level that well, this brand actually we spend this much on the promotion, and then so this justifies putting into a better place in a store. And so those kind of of course, data shouldn't be shared on with customers. But I think but by extending it to customers, I think that's a great way to enhance the potential of the digital twin, I think.
Thank you so much for bringing this forward. This is a really remarkable piece of technology that we're going to have to keep our eyes on.